Tonight, BC Coliseum prepares over 800 seats for Washington State University fall graduates.
And the women's transit is back in service, but this time with a new name.
Also, riots break out in and around Jerusalem. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Stella Sun.
And I'm Majestic Storm. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
It's graduation season once again, and this time about 850 students are expected to attend WCU's fall commencement ceremony. President Kirk Schultz will hand out degrees at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning in BC Coliseum. The ceremony is expected to be 2 hours long. Families and friends of soon-to-be grads are coming to town for commencement and might face the challenge of limited parking on College Hill. Nicholas Bartlett went to College Hill to learn about the new city ordinance.
During the holiday break, students are not allowed to park on College Hill unless they are willing to pay an $18 fine. WCU student Levi Sullivan doesn't support the new ordinance.
I personally don't like it because we're already paying a lot of money to the school to pay for to go here and paid for parking, and now we're not able to park on campus.
This is a popular location on College Hill where many students like to park during the school year. However, during winter break, students, faculty, and other people will not be able to park on College Hill without being issued a small monetary fine. Many students and other people have differing opinions on the fine and whether or not it will affect their winter break.
So I'm from Hawaii, and having a car here, it's really convenient, but it's not that great when you have to fly back to Hawaii and go home because you can't really take your car with you because it's really expensive to fly your car all the way back to Hawaii. I'd much rather park on College Hill, but the fine associated with it is really kind of screws me over.
There are other students who are not affected by the ordinance, but do understand the implications.
Yeah, I heard about not being able to park on College Hill over the break. It doesn't really affect me too much, but my friends do kind of have a problem with it, so I can kind of understand where they're coming from, but it is what it is.
However, Levi Sullivan is happy that he can avoid the new ordinance entirely.
I really don't care since I was graduating, but if I was still coming here in the next year or two, I would actually really care about this.
The City of Pullman and WSU Transportation Services are working together to identify alternate parking options for those who may be impacted by these new restrictions. Nicholas Bartlett, Murrow News 8.
The program formerly known as Women's Transit at WSU will be back in Pullman in January. Only this time it will be called Cougar Safe Ride. Our reporter Alfredo Lanos explains the changes made to the new program.
Get the cars back up and running. When we went back to retrieve them, they were so dead they wouldn't even unlock. So that was fun.
Cougar Safe Ride ran a trial last weekend. Despite not many students using the program during the weekend, the trial still helped volunteers prepare for the future. The program will provide transportation to students in need of a ride during the weekends.
I think that it was a program that the students really wanted here at Wazoo. I think that we have such a big campus, and at any time you're going to feel a little uncomfortable walking in the dark, and so I think it was a very good resource for students.
Apart from the name change, the program added a volunteer who will sit passenger and help the driver navigate through town, making the job easier to handle tough situations. People planning to volunteer in the Cougar Safe Ride program need to fill out this form, which is available online. Then that person needs to go to some training and pass a background check before they can even start taking shifts.
How the volunteers are trained is very important too. I was really happy when I was training and we had a police officer who came in and talked to us about what to expect with volunteering, and then we had the PL leaders bring in their past experiences.
Expect to see Cougar Safe Rides back in January at the start of the semester. Just call or text WSU 267-SAFE during their hours of operation if you do not want to walk home alone, and one of their cars will give you a lift. Alfredo Llanos, Murrow News 8.
The Associated Students of Washington State University approved 3 bills and came up with a new way to grant students more access to the free Adobe Creative Cloud programs. One bill includes amenities to the ASWSU administration assistant duties, while another proposes new guidelines for individual funding requests. The third bill that was passed addresses services and activity fees, which will not be a mandatory part of student tuition. Mandatory fees aren't the only changes being made at Washington State University. Design and construction students of the architectural department proposed 9 full-scale wall designs for the Pullman's Farmers Market. Irish Concepcion attended the exhibit and met with the creatives behind the wall.
Design students at Washington State University are showcasing wall proposal designs that are meant to groove up the space of the Pullman Farmers Market. 9 teams of 3 to 4 designers competed in an annual masonry competition to challenge their skills in compositional design and using emerging technology.
We ask students to think about permanent and impermanent part. So the permanent part could always be there, and the impermanent part could be used while the farmers market active.
Yesterday in the Carpenter Hall Gallery, these teams presented their wall simulations to judges from the Northwest masonry industry. These wall designs, which will be displayed until December 15th, come in all shapes and sizes. One stands sturdy at 3 feet tall, while fishing wire suspends this honeycomb-like structure.
These prototypes are made of styrofoam, just like this brick, which is the material used to build these prototype walls.
Guests at the exhibit admired student work, mingled over hors d'oeuvres, and interacted with the prototypes. But this event wasn't just a social hour.
It's an award ceremony. This is a competition, and so some people won. Some people won first prize, second prize, third, and then honorable mention.
A structure that is both interactive with an environment and has potential to serve as something unique to be found in the city they live in.
We wanted to use holes to kind of explore with sound and also prepare our city for the sunlight to go through.
The first place winners use this competition as an opportunity to stay motivated as they propel themselves forward in their future careers. Irish Concepcion, Murrow News 8.
Coming up, violence heats up in the Middle East over Jerusalem.
And UN peacekeepers attacked in the Congo. We'll be right back.
No more pencils, no more books. No more teachers, dirty looks. School's out for summer. School's out forever. School's out with fever. School's out completely.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%. And it can happen in every place. To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
British Prime Minister Theresa May arrived in Brussels to discuss the English border with Ireland. Once the border was in question and is settled, talks will move to the future of trade after the UK leaves the European Union. The Democratic Unionist Party says that they will not accept any deal in which Northern Ireland is treated differently from the rest of the UK.
Clashes continue to erupt in the occupied West Bank over the Israeli-Gaza border following Donald Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Rioters have injured more than 200 people. The policy shift hailed by Israel was condemned across the Arab and Islamic world. Allies of the U.S. also disavowed the move that reversed decades of U.S. neutrality on the status of Jerusalem. The UN Security Council is holding an emergency meeting. The deliberate attack on the United Nations peacekeepers in the Congo left 14 dead and 53 injured. Mission officials believe the attack was carried out by the rebel group called Allied Democratic Forces. At least 5 members of the Congo's armed forces also died in the attack. The killings took place in the eastern province of North Kivu.
Tomorrow marks a very historical day in Australia, the day homosexual marriage will be legally recognized after an overwhelmingly amount of support on the new bill. Australia's Prime Minister rushed gay marriage law on Friday by signing the bill. With this new law, couples who live in Australia and plan to marry must give a calendar month notice. This law was supported by 62% of voters. The weather continues to drop into more winter-like conditions.
When we come back, Shannon Heck joins us to give us the weekend forecast as we move into finals week.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow!
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good? Oh, God. Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The whole town was covered in frost this morning. Shannon, are we going to be seeing that again? Is it time to maybe lace up our snow boots?
Well, Stella, no snow boots yet, but we saw some freezing fog this morning, and that's why it seemed everything had those little ice crystals all over it. Today, it's going to get a high of only 36, so it's going to be very chilly, and the low of 27, so expect ice on the roadways everywhere, so be careful if you're driving anywhere. Tomorrow, we're going to be seeing a lot of the same freezing fog in the morning, so you'll see a lot of those ice crystals, and when you're walking to graduation at about 10 o'clock tomorrow, be careful of the roads and everything, so make sure your family knows if they're coming into town. In the evening, we'll get down into the 30s, so we'll see freezing temperatures again, and expecting more of those cold temperatures. Looking across the map today, over on the east side, we've been seeing freezing temperatures and not getting much above freezing during the day. In central Washington, it's chilly, just like we're seeing here on the east, but on the west side, they're lucky to not have any ice or snow. Over in the mid to high 40s, so the west side's got it pretty easy over there right now. In your 5-day forecast, we'll be seeing a lot more of this freezing temperatures at night. So, but as we move on, it'll be a warming trend. So going into finals week, it won't be nearly as icy and cold as we've been seeing it. And when you start to head home, it won't be nearly as dangerous. So that's all I got for weather for you. Back to you guys at the desk.
When we come back, Jay Slaughter will join us here at the desk to tell us what to expect from tonight's WC's Cougar Corner.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing.
Wow! I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark.
That was awesome! Let's go again!
3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Coming up next, we have the Cougar Corner, WC's exclusive sports show.
This is our third edition of the show, isn't it? What should we expect the third time around?
Well, we'll bring you highlights of the Cougars' week on the court. We have announcements from all the professional leagues and slam dunks from last night's NBA games. Thank you for watching. Join us every weekend at 7 and 10 p.m. for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great night, and don't forget to follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter. Good night, Pullman.